Hello, and a very warm welcome to our series of webinars supporting you to showcase your nursing excellence by entering the RCN Nursing Awards. My name's Elaine Cole, and I've been enjoying working on these awards for around about 10 years. And it's fair to say we are absolutely passionate about giving nurses a platform to showcase what they're doing. It never ever ceases to amaze me the difference nurses make to people's lives from conception to end of life and just about everywhere in between. But every year the diversity of what the nursing team does is mind-blowing. And it can be anything, anywhere, supporting young people in prison, delivering sexual health projects to sex workers in their homes, improving the well-being of children by supporting their dads to be better dads. And it's amazing. This year it feels more important than ever to showcase this work. We want to help spread the learning from the pandemic and acknowledge the hard work that people have been putting in. But we also want to recognise through our 15 or so categories all the other amazing work the nurses are doing around the UK and in all the different specialties in which they work. So we know there's amazing work out there, but we also know that there's a lot of nurses who aren't shouting about it. We know those nurses know they've got something to share. Hundreds and hundreds start their awards entries every year, but for some reason they hesitate. So what we want to do in these webinars is to try to break down whatever those barriers are. We want to demystify the awards process. We want to show you how inclusive and supportive it is and give you some tips and advice on how to make your entry stand out. We want to basically, in short, give you the confidence to shout loud and proud about what you are doing to care for and support the people we serve. So this evening, our speakers include our Nurse of the Year 2020, Anna Waddington, and Sandra Bennett, who was a finalist in our leadership category in 2018 and has been working with us ever since on various projects. Our Chair of Judges, Joanne Bosanquet, Chief Executive of the Foundation of Nursing Studies, she will be talking about what the judges are looking for and giving some advice on how to make your entry stand out and show the impact of what you're doing. For the last half an hour or so, there'll be a panel discussion, and thank you to everybody who has already submitted a question. We appreciate it. There is still time to submit questions, and we'll look at those at the end of this session. First of all, though, I wanted to quickly outline to you some of the benefits you can gain by entering the awards. I feel really proud that what makes our awards different to some others is that we are really committed to and we invest in sharing practice as widely as we possibly can. And it's not just about winning. We support all of our finalists and all of our entrants and our winners through the process. Just entering the awards can actually be a gateway to lots of different opportunities. Even if you're not shortlisted, the team of editors at RCNI's journals, they read all of the entries. We often feature entrance work in our journals throughout the year and beyond. And as well as that, we have a panel of very prestigious judges from all over the UK who will be reading all of the entries we receive. If you're shortlisted, we showcase your project in our publications and at the awards itself. You will automatically become part of the Nurse Awards network, and RCNI, all of our editors, call on our members of the network to present at seminars, conferences, various events. They might even feature on our Nursing Standard podcast. We also try to spread the word about what you're doing as far and wide as we can through media contacts. We send out press releases on all of our finalists. And they generally enjoy substantial coverage in the local media and within their speciality. We work with your trust comms teams as well, so that can help raise your profile within your organisation. And actually that profile has helped save services in some cases. And of course, our category winners, they enjoy the same benefits, but with the prestige of the title. They see their profile raised nationally and internationally, and we write significant articles on them throughout the year. So, in conclusion, the most important benefit of sharing your practice with us is that we help you to share what you have been doing to improve people's lives, improve communities' lives, so others can learn from that and even more people can benefit. So that's what we are trying to offer you, and that's how we are trying to showcase your work. Let's hear from our speakers this evening. First up is our Nurse of the Year 2020. So our Nurse of the Year is chosen from all of our category winners, and in 2020 it was Anna Waddington who was given the prestigious title for her work with vulnerable young people, at-risk young people who are at risk of serious violence. So Anna, if I can hand over to you, if you can tell people about your project and maybe what being Nurse of the Year has meant for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elaine. I'm Anna Waddington, as you've already heard, and I am a sister working in the emergency department at the Royal London Hospital. I was given this really amazing award because of a project that I set up called Your Stance, and the project itself essentially came from a sense of my own frustration at the amount of young people that we were seeing in our A&E department coming in with these serious injuries and who seemed to be dying unnecessarily because the young people who were with the patients weren't putting pressure on the wound or didn't really have the knowledge for basic first aid. And so I really saw a need to be able to bring doctors and nurses to these young people and teach them first aid. And so the project itself happens all over North East London. We're well established in North East London, and we teach those most at risk of serious youth violence. We go out into the prisons, we go into pupil referral units or alternative provisions, and our most exciting side of the project is we actually teach on the streets in collaboration with the local council. And what happens is myself and volunteer doctors and nurses with experience in trauma are the ones that come out and teach these young people directly, and we usually only reach a specific age group of 13 to 25-year-olds because we know that those are the ones that are being most affected. And through this project, what I found was that there was a real yearning from our healthcare professionals to want to understand how to look after this particular patient group. And in a way, it started to tackle a little bit of a compassion fatigue that had been starting to grow within my team as a result of seeing so many young people coming in 2 to 3, sometimes 7 a day on a shift, and the struggles that we would face in looking after this particular patient group. So it really opened a dialogue between doctors and nurses and this particular patient group. What has the award done for me and done for the project? I mean, I can't even begin to explain how much it has helped us as a project, but also just helped me individually. I didn't put myself forward for various reasons, and Elaine will probably tell you many times that it's because I just wouldn't do something like this. But it has helped me become more confident individually. It's obviously raised the profile of the project. It's engaged other healthcare professionals and has encouraged people to want to do a similar project in their own A&Es, which is my aim. My end goal is that people do want to do things like this and try and engage their communities. We've got lots of promotion as a result of this award, and I've had quite a bit of experience now with press and engaging other parts of the communities and spreading the project across the whole of London. And as Elaine mentioned before, it's raised my profile within the hospital. People are interested in the project. Conversations that before wouldn't have necessarily happened are now happening. And it's really, I don't know, it's allowed me to connect with people that I never would have connected with before. And I'm incredibly grateful for it. Also still very embarrassed about getting the award, but I am very grateful for it.
Thanks very much, Anna. So inspiring, and I'm so glad somebody nominated you. Next, I think we're going to go to Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for joining us. Sandra is the leader of sexual health integrated services at Croydon. She was the finalist in our leadership category in 2018. But since we built this relationship with Sandra, we've been working with her in numerous conferences. So I'll hand over to Sandra, and she can tell you a bit about her projects and her experience of being part of the awards network. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you, Elaine, for giving me this opportunity to speak tonight. And you may not know this, but actually everything that you said earlier on is what I'm going to talk about. You know, so people just listening for the first time may think, oh yeah, well, really, you know, but it's actually everything that what you said is very, very true, is real, does happen during, before, and after the whole awards process. So I entered the awards in 2018. I am the lead nurse for integrated sexual health. As you said, I was at Barts in East London, the same hospital where Anna is at. And so Barts tends to produce a lot of winners. And our Nurse of the Year in 2019, Tara, also came from Barts. And I'm actually standing in for Tara tonight. When I entered the awards, I realized that a lot of people in and around your colleagues would admire the work that you're doing and really big you up and talk about the difference you're making. But nationally, nobody actually gets to see what you're doing. And one of the nicest things about the RCNI Awards is that you can nominate yourself. So when I always wanted to take part in the awards, and then when I realized I could nominate myself, it was the night that the awards were going to close, and I had come on duty. I was on an on-call shift, and thank goodness there were no patients. And it was closing at midnight that night, and I said, well, it's now or never, and I got to nominate myself. And I literally just wrote my entry from my heart, because my project was everything that I did. So I knew it from the beginning to the end. And it was all about transforming a sexual health team that didn't have the competence or the confidence to carry out the work that they were employed to do, as well as in sexual health, there's a gold standard where you have a diploma in offering contraception, as well as you have a certificate from the British Association for Sexual Health to offer sexual health services. And these nurses have been working in this department and in my current department as well for over 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years, and they did not have this level of competence. And it was really a fantastic experience, because I could be authentic in my delivery of the training and the development. And this is what I brought to the award ceremony, to say, when you give people the tools to do the work gets done. So a lot of the times people can get very frustrated at work. They want to progress, they want to deliver the job, but they're not given the tools, the opportunity, the access to the education and development. And that's what I did with the team at Bart. I could never have done that without them embracing what I brought to the table. And that team are now fully at the gold standard. The beauty of that is that and East London, as Anna will tell you, is a very diverse demographics that really needs every single kind of healthcare to be delivered at the highest standard. And if you've got a group of a team of nurses who cannot, I'm talking on the nursing side, who tend to be the people who are underprivileged in acquiring some training and development access. If you have got people who don't have the tools to do the work, our patients are going to suffer, and we're all here for the patients. You know, so that team embraced the change. They took on the training, they took on the development. And one of the questions I was asked at the BME forum, why are there no nurse leaders from the BME community in middle management? And I can proudly say that today, the nursing team at Barts in sexual health have the gold standard for the British Association for Sexual Health. They are dual trained to the highest level. They are leaders in their own right. Now that I left Barts as the lead nurse, I left 2 nurses who replaced me at Band 8A. So what I'm talking about is I've put 2 nurses who can go anywhere in London as an 8A because they were given that opportunity, as well as internal development of the Band 7 team. Now, talking about and that's, so we can do that, like Tara, our Nurse of the Year in 2019, was doing that kind of work for such a long time. And nobody put her forward. She didn't put herself forward until someone said, somebody's got to see the work you're doing. And she was our Nurse of the Year for 2019. And like you were saying, Elaine, you took her around the world. You did articles with her, films and stuff. You did the same with me. The whole RCN team, during my application for the award, supported me every step of the way. They helped me write certain things. They corrected my writing. They told me I'm going to be on a radio show. They told me I'm going to be in a press on press in our local press. And I didn't understand what that was all about. Like Anna was saying, we're not taught to talk to the press, but now we can talk as we are at the moment. And I was walking down my street and I didn't know what they were talking about when they said they're going to put in the local Guardian, because I'm at work all the time and I don't read the paper. And as I was going home one night, my neighbor said to me, "Oh, wow, Sandra, congratulations." And I didn't know what they were talking about because, we hardly talk to neighbors. And I said, "What are you talking about?" And they told me about the article in the paper. And the next day they brought a whole bunch of flowers and kind of card and everything. But you did that for me. You actually raised my profile amongst my neighbors. You didn't know that. And but you said you're going to do that and support me. And then I did not win the award, but as a finalist and in the top 5, we were all winners. And we know there's just like a hair's breadth between each person. Everybody's a winner on the night. You can never tell who's going to win because it's so different. It's so prestigious. The quality of entrance is so high. And I was a winner all the time in the whole process. And that was before, and the support you get and the during was so amazing. You showcased my work. So in 2018, and if anybody watching on the webinar tonight, as well as Anna, I read about Anna. I was reading about Anna before I met her. I'm so proud of her. And she will tell you and acknowledge that my article was done in 2018, and I was on the cover of the Nursing Standard. And you did like a 4-page article with me and my team and I. And then this is a really funny part, because when I came to work here in Croydon, they wanted to know who's this person. You know how people research you? So one of the ladies came to me and she said to me, "Sister, I've been following you. We've been waiting to meet you." And then out of her bag, I promise you, out of her bag, she pulled out the Nursing Standard. I'm like, oh my gosh, And so that was awesome. You did the featured articles whenever you needed any videos to be done. You came to me, and I'm sure you went to others as well all over the country, because you valued my work. You said, "Sandra, we want to share your work with other people." And one of the nicest things as well is that before these awards, as you know, a lot of the time, even now, our Caucasian colleagues are the ones who tend to go in and are confident, and they showcase their work and they bring it on. But I'm here today to represent people who look like me and behave like me, people of color, of Black minority ethnic groups, to say, if you're there, and if you think that you're not confident in applying for the awards, if you feel you can't go to the guys at the RCN, just come along to Croydon and I'll show you how we do it. And the awards are closing on the 7th of May, so you better get your entrance in. What it is about is that if you feel that you're doing a good job on the ward, in your department, if you feel, I really feel like I'm doing such a good job, I want someone to know about this. the RCN Awards will acknowledge you. It's so prestigious. So yes, and you invited me to the Jobs and the Careers Fair, where I plug in for the awards, but also you got me to showcase my work. And this last year we did it on virtual because it was the pandemic. And so many people called me up and they said, I want to come and work there. I want you to train me. You showcased me. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm not embarrassed at all. And you know, Elaine, every time you call me, I don't waste a minute. You say, what's happening, Sandra? I tell you everything that's happening, because you know what? I want people to know the good work that my nursing team is doing. And you guys have helped me build the confidence that I can stand here and talk in this way. I've been with you since 2018, so it's a long time. But basically, what these awards do, they help you keep the standard of nursing raised. They help you want to share the experience. And you guys know at the RCN that those nurses out there are producing first-class work to our patients. And our patients can say, well, I had an award-winning nurse. They're not going to say that, but I had an award-winning nurse who served me. And I talk about it. And I say to my patients, and I say to other nurses as well, just Google me and see that I work with the RCN and the kind of work we do together. And some people may think I'm really brazen, but I'm so excited. Every time Elaine calls me or Tina Such calls me, and now it's Rosie Davies, I'm just like, yes, RCN, what can I do for you? You know, and so don't waste time showcasing your work. Everybody who's out there, I want to tell you the benefits of coming and working with this team. It's those people that you don't see, but when you bring yourself forward, you see them. And the other thing that winning, being the finalist in the awards did for me was get me to have an absolutely special, close relationship with our chief nurse at Barts, Caroline Alexander, who celebrates these kind of things, and also the CEO, Alwyn Williams. She knew me personally. She would pass me in the corridor and ask me how I'm doing, but that's because we did the hospital proud. Anna, I'm sure you can say the same thing to you about that as well. And they would come to any chief nurse, even our chief nurse here at Croydon knows me personally. I just want to encourage everybody out there. I don't know if I'm supposed to say all of that, but anyway, if you have any doubts in entering the awards, I'm at Croydon. I don't know if Rosie's going to put my details up there. I love helping people. I'm going to be entering my team this year as well to showcase. They don't know it, but we're transforming the sexual health services in Croydon and making it into a 5-star sexual health service. And yeah, that's what we're doing.
Oh, well, thank you, Sandra. Very inspiring, and it's such a pleasure to hear how much of a difference being part of the awards has been for you. So thank you for sharing that. I'm sure everyone's very inspired now. So I think we'll go now to Joanne Bosanquet, who is our chair of judges, and Jo is the chief executive of the Foundation of Nursing Studies. And she's been involved with the awards for many years now, and has a lot of experience of being on our judging panel. So I thought, Jo, if you could share some practical advice and some tips from a judge's perspective, what are you looking for? What do people need to put into their entry to really stand out?
Thank you, Elaine, and thanks, Anna and Sandra. I was just sitting on my chair, jumping around for joy. That was just brilliant. Thank you very much. So before I start, I just want to thank the RCN and RCNI and the RCN Foundation for the support of having the Foundation of Nursing Studies as the first ever charity partner for these awards. It is such an amazing honour to be in this position. I've been chief exec here now for nearly 2 years, which is really shocking how quickly that's gone. And the work that we do at FONS is all around person-centeredness. It's all around people and persons, and it's enabled by cultures of empowerment, that foster continuous approaches to practice development, and so therefore person-centeredness is my overall aim for these awards. So if you can, that's just my little tip for the beginning. If you follow that, you won't go far wrong. So for me, my experience of the awards over, as Elaine said, over many years is that it is the most inclusive process. Sandra's just demonstrated that brilliantly, but it is really, really inclusive. And we've seen nurses and their teams from roles at the point of care, to commissioning, education, policy, executive roles, third sector, independent, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And I'm particularly interested in social care as well, and other independent sector providers this year. So what am I looking for? Well, so for me personally, I look for that kind of spark. I look for the spark of entrepreneurship. So somebody or a team who are supported and support one another to take some risks. Because if we don't take risks, we don't learn, and sometimes we fail, and learning from that failure enables us to progress. So it's not all, oh, it's all fantastic and perfect. Actually, some of the most amazing presentations that we've had at finalist stage, and actually throughout the whole application process over the years, have actually been honest about that, and been quite, very authentic, and their applications, their submissions have had a real kind of sense of integrity about their own values and their mission as a team or as an individual. So that's really important for me. So vision, imagination, collaboration, a compelling story, that'll catch my eye. You need to remember as well that we only know what you tell us. We can't climb inside your head. And we certainly don't we don't know much more than what's on your application form. So when you're applying, make sure that you get somebody who is not part of the process to proofread it and do it again and again, and then say it out loud to them, present it to somebody that doesn't know what you're doing, so that they understand exactly what it is, the story that you're telling. Okay. So nurses for me and teams make a difference to people's lives on a daily basis, and I would say that often what you're doing and how you're responding to the needs is really special and really innovative. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard nurses say, oh, well, that was just me, that was just the team. No, that's what we do. We just do a workaround, making a plan to solve an issue or a problem. And then I'll say, but how does everybody else know what you're doing if you don't tell them? And they'll go, oh no, it's not really my thing. And Anna said that at the beginning as well. Well, it's not my thing, I don't want to do it. And we're not great at blowing our own trumpets. But this is not just about us, is it? This is about our professional identity, and it's about progressing the profession. And as Sandra said, raising that bar and keeping it as high as we possibly can. And every single year we find the even more amazing skills of nurses and their teams when they're presenting to us. So it was face-to-face. Last year we had our first virtual presentation ceremony, which was phenomenal, and the excitement was still as great as it would have been had we been in the room together. So I can assure you that it's a really fantastic process, and we're very nice people. We're not tripping you up. It is not what we do. I don't do that. I've been tripped up, don't like it, thank you. We don't do that. So we'll make you, we'll try and make you as welcome as humanly possible. So I think just finally then, if your entry is a team effort, share the process and ensure it demonstrates collaboration and shared values, because yes, we're also very good at saying, oh, well, it wasn't just me, it was my team, but it is you and your team. So, really show us the power of collaboration, partnership working, and co-production. And obviously, if you've had carers or service users and the people you care for as part of your initiative or your work, then involve them, because it's really important. And from us at the Foundation Nursing Studies, evaluation when it's participatory and really focused around people is the best evaluation that you can get. So that's me for now. I've got some other tips, but I think I'll wait for the Q&A. So back to you, Elaine.
Thanks, Joe. Okay, we've had a number of questions, so I think time is tight, so we'll go straight into our panel discussion. So one of the questions we've had, and you did touch on this, Anna, in your presentation, is there any support with dealing with the media? So obviously we do our best to put people's work out there and raise people's profile, but this is quite new for a lot of people. So Anna, how did it go for you? I know you've had both press and television coverage of your project, Your Stance. How did it feel?
Obviously, it was incredibly daunting at first, having all of these people who are interested in talking about your project. But I'm grateful to have you, Elaine, especially because you've really helped and guide me in knowing the right thing to say. And, you know, I've never done sort of press opportunities before, and you know, we're always really worried about saying the wrong thing or being caught out. And I think the whole process supports you, and you work quite closely with the hospital's communications team, as you already said before, because everyone just wants you to get your project out there. There's no one's trying to trip you up. No one's trying to make you look bad. They just want you to feel confident in being able to communicate the message of your project and encourage other people to be able to do the same moving forward. And so I think the support was amazing, especially recently with a couple of the television opportunities. As you mentioned earlier, I've been on Crime Watch. We were all very anxious about being on a BBC TV show that, you know, many people associate with quite sometimes a negative light, but you guys completely supported me in being able to feel confident in going on to the show and navigating all the kind of questions that were coming my way and knowing how to say no to certain things, to be able to promote our project in the most positive way. So it really is like not hand holding, but you all support the individuals who win in a way that is quite unique, and almost want to give you all an award for everything that you've done to support us.
Oh, thank you, Anna. Coming to the next question, this was one sent in. Any tips from successful candidates about how they put their entry together? Sandra, you put yourself forward. Can I come to you on this? Any tips and advice you would give people considering their entry at the moment?
I think one of the things to do is to be just very real, be your authentic self. Speak from your heart, and really to the person, like Joe said earlier, just read it and read it again, and you know, let them feel your passion. You know, I could put my entry together because it was my work that I initiated. So at any place in time, any point, I can write about it. But that goes, that is true for everybody else as well. Anna did her work together. It was her idea, but she brought the team together as a collaborative. However, she can talk anywhere about what she did. And the same goes for anybody who is bringing their work together and wanting to tell people about it. You never forget that without the team, you couldn't have demonstrated your idea, because it's about the team and the patients. But just be honest. Don't make up stories. Don't try to be fancy. Don't use fancy language, because what you're trying to do is get your message across as simply as possibly. And also, what also helps maybe is to see using standards like benchmarks, like maybe the CQC standards of being safe, effective, caring, and those kind of standards, and bringing out your work to demonstrate how you meet those standards as well. Maybe.
Yeah, no, thank you, Sandra. And there was a point you raised there, which I know Joe feels very passionately about being a leader and what you have done individually and what your team has done, and being honest about what is your work. So Joe, do you want to talk about that in terms of judging?
Yeah, thanks, Elaine. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I don't have any problems showing off, as most people know. That's my personality. But lots of people aren't confident to articulate the impact and the journey that they've been on individually, because this isn't just about the work, our nursing work. It's also about us as people and how we develop our emotional intelligence and how we develop professionally and how we become a rounded person and flourish within our work lives and also our own lives. So you know, you could practice it with somebody that you trust, that you can make some mistakes with, and you can do some role play. I've definitely done that before, and that's worked very well. If you're one that you think might go off on a tangent, or you might start rambling, which I mean, really, I do all the time. It's really good to sit and have maybe a few notes, just key notes in front of you, so that you don't miss the core of what you're trying to say. And that's fine, you know. The more prepared somebody is, the better, and you'll just get a much better experience. You'll then enjoy the experience of talking with us. But yeah, I think that's it, Elaine. That's all I need to say on that one. Thanks.
Great. So we've had 2 questions on the same topic, one sent in previously and one that's come in this evening. And that's around evaluation. So we were asked what kind of evaluation is acceptable, and in the question this evening, do you require evidence of the project when submitting? Jo, can I come back to you on that? Yeah,
you can. Am I live? Yeah, you can, Elaine. Thank you. Yes, evaluation is a very wide and broad concept, isn't it? I'm not interested I'm only interested in your kind of PDSA cycles and the quality improvement stuff that we talk about all the time. I'm also interested in outcomes from the nurse's perspective, from the team's perspective, and also from those that are affected by the work and the service users. So yes, we do want things like audit data if you've got it, or some costing analysis. The financial side of it's quite interesting. So when we're looking at return on investment, that always pricks my ears up, because it's quite rare. And if you get it right, my goodness me, that will definitely get you through. So that's really important. So patient or service user and staff experience survey results are really important as well. If your staff survey numbers have changed, or any documentation you've had, or any documentation that you've designed, and that, you know, all of that will help us to really understand the impact of your work. You know, as I said before, at the charity we use what's called 4th generation evaluation. We evaluate everything all the time. We're in a constant evaluation process with our work, because we learn from doing, and we're very good at doing that. But I understand that that's not always the way that nurses and their teams work within certain environments. So you know, we're very open to a myriad of evaluation tools and methodologies. Thanks. Okay. Thanks, Jo. There's a couple of questions which I'll pick up myself, if that's okay, around publication. So one question today has, does the awards entry tie in any way with trying to get your work published? And one of the things that we're really passionate about at RCNI is that our awards finalists are supported where they want to publish with us. So that is, it might be an article in, say, Nursing Standard, but we also support our finalists all through the process of publishing a peer-reviewed article. So hopefully that answers that question. And yeah, so, but that's, you don't, we would still consider your work to publish even without the awards, but it is something that we try to work closely with our network, our finalists, to achieve. So if I could pick that up, that's great. I've got one other question that was sent in, and this is about the awards process itself. So first of all, there is a written entry and an online judging process.
And after that, we do go to face-to-face interviews. We've had a question in about whether these will be in person or whether they will be virtually. So I can tell you that they will be virtually this year. And maybe I could go to Anna, who has been through that process of presenting virtually, just to give some reassurances and sort of share her experiences of how that worked for her.
Yeah, I mean, I know everyone feels quite frightened about doing a virtual presentation, but again, I was very much supported in the process. Everyone checked up on me before. I had someone supporting me just before I was about to do my presentation, and it all happened really, really quite quickly. The great thing about doing it virtually is that you have all the things that you require in your own home, and should you forget something that you might forget when you're making a journey towards, you know, a presentation, you won't, because everything's there and you're in the comfort of your own home and have all the information that you need on your computer, for example. The judges were really, really kind. I felt really welcomed. It felt more of a conversation. And although I did have I can't remember exactly, I think it's 10-minute presentation now. It is, isn't it? So it's a 10-minute presentation, and then afterwards the judges will ask you individual questions, and it felt really empowering. Everyone was quite supportive of everything that I'd spoken about, and none of the questions again were there to trip me up. It was more thinking a bit outside of the box of how I could push the project further. And then I just left it feeling quite, you know, proud of having completed something that I was quite anxious of going through.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Anna. And Joe, from a judge's perspective, how have you felt that the virtual interview process has worked?
Thanks, Elaine. I was just smiling because from my experience as a judge, I used to, well, I still do. I put people together. So say with Anna, I would have given you somebody's name for you to contact when you finished, and, you know, Sandra, if I'd have been listening to you, I would have put you in contact with somebody up in Cumbria area around your sexual health stuff, and that didn't change last year. I still did it, and so the fact that we were virtual made absolutely no difference. And what I was really super impressed with was just how natural everybody was. You know, we weren't really that far into the pandemic at the time, and but everybody worked around any IT issues, and we had a couple of people that had to revert to their phones in an office, but it was fine. It worked because we had the presentation at our end, so it was absolutely brilliant, and everybody just made a plan, and we were a lot more relaxed. And yeah, I felt it was, to be honest, I think sometimes the 2D format, the virtual format that we've found running our programs over the last few months, is that sometimes it enables you to be a little bit more relaxed, as Anna said, because you're in the comfort of your own home, and you're not in a room with people. So yeah, there's no difference from my end. It's just as exciting, and it's a real joy. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. One question that's come in this evening that I'd like to pick up, if that's okay, is I'm a parent who wants to nominate her son's nurse, who is amazing. I'm worried my nomination will get lost in the awards entrance. So my advice would definitely be, we have the perfect category for you. It's the patient's choice category, where patients or people nominate a nurse, health visitor, nursing student even, who has made a huge difference to their lives. And within that, there's plenty of space for you to describe exactly what that nurse has done to make your son's and your family's life so much better. So I can contact you later through Rosie if you need any more details, but I think the patient's choice category is perfect for your nomination. And I've had another couple of very similar questions come in. This time I'm going to go back to you, Joe, if that's okay. Can I still submit my application if the project is not complete? And a very similar question about, does it have to be an established piece of work? It's a new project underway. So what advice would you give?
Thanks, Elaine. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, we've had multiple entries over the years of pieces of work that are in various stages of development. We review everything. We look at everything, and my advice to you is follow the rules. Read the literature that's on the website and basically follow the rules, and submit as comprehensively as you possibly can. Very often, early projects or projects within an early phase of their development end up to be, quite large, and so there's always learning. We can learn from every stage of any work that we undertake. So I would encourage you to apply. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Because don't forget, as I said, it's about your development as well.
Thanks, Jo. And yeah, it's interesting. There have been, we have had category winners who have entered previously, and obviously throughout those couple of previous entries have honed what they're doing and their entry until ultimately it's been successful. So do apply. It may certainly wow the judges, but make sure you're collecting your evidence as you go along, because as long as you can evidence what you've achieved so far, it stands a really good chance. So I think we're running out of time. So what I'd like to do before we leave is I thought it'd be useful to quickly summarise a discussion that we've had, and just have some takeaway points for everyone attending on how to maximise their chances of award success. So in conclusion, I think the takeaway points are enter. I mean, it sounds very basic, but enter, put your work forward so it can be celebrated and others can learn from it. And you really don't know where it might take you. Be proud. Take proper credit for what you have done, as well as acknowledging your team's input. If you've led it, you've led it, and you need to show that to people. Third, impact. Describe how the initiative has improved care and/or nursing practice, the profession itself, or even policy, or then that can be local or national. And very importantly, evidence. Show your evaluation, whether it's an audit or participatory evaluation with your client group. Make sure you include that in your application. So that's all all that's left to say is I'd like to give a huge thanks to Sandra, Jo and Anna for giving up their time this evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and yeah, we very much look forward to seeing your entries. Thank you. Good evening.